Hey there, I am Naomi Karth. I tried to record this video without my son and helper Jerome, and that didn't quite work. So we're going to try to roll this with the kiddo here. I'm going to cover some of the basics that you might want to have when you're building as far as business builder supplies go. You can actually get by pretty basic here. A computer and internet is always helpful. If you have a smartphone, that will work as well. Honestly, the way I roll is notebooks. I have one notebook that is dedicated to just keeping track of volume, check, and then I have another notebook I use that I track who I've made contact with recently, what type of promos that I'm running, just so that I'm not bombarding people with information. And I also tend to write down preferences that people have of how to be contacted, because some people actually prefer to be texted or get an email versus being called. I recommend having a printer so that you can print off things like sign-up sheets and the thermometer trackers, but we were at a point in our life where we didn't have a printer, and I actually just wrote out my thermometers and filled them in because it had became a major obstacle that I couldn't get over. And it was to the point where I just needed to sit down and write it out and color it in, and it made me feel so much better when we didn't have a printer. Another thing that you want to have is 2 calendars. I use just a basic old calendar to map out when we're having classes and what classes those would be and where, and then when we're attending events that are being put on by our upline. And then I also do a printable calendar like this. You can find those free and just print them out. And I use that to track our budget, to write down when our ER order is going to go through, when we're going to purchase things that are bonus items. Anytime that you purchase something from Young Living, you want to print out your receipt for it for tax purposes. And you want to be marking down whether or not it was purchased for a personal use, a business use. If it's a new product you've never tried before, you can write off on your taxes the first time you use it, at least in the state of Indiana. So you need to mark that off. And anytime you're purchasing some type of a promo item that you're giving away, or some sort of bonus, you'll want to mark that down as well. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is your business in a box, or however you want to do that. Something that you can fit in your purse or diaper bag. Mine I put in a little pencil case. It's got pens in it, colors, because that's me. I do have samples and lip balm in there. The most important part would be new sign-up sheets. And if I were to get someone signed up on the spot, I do have a quick reference in here. A little bottle of Thieves hand sanitizer, some Thieves drops, most important, business cards to give out, and then I also have cards for the different oils that I give with the samples. I have a couple of older rollers that I let people try if they want. This business in a box is just something that gives you a chance to sign people up right away if they're interested. Or at the very least, you've got your contact information to give them. Business cards, you can do business cards really cheap online. You can also buy fancy ones through the YL Gear website. I know you're excited. Hey, he just likes to see himself on the video. Yes, you're very, very handsome, we know. So basically, that's giving you a way to share Young Living, and you don't have to put it in a box. You can put it in something smaller, and you can like really expand on this. You can get a planner. I actually bought a planner and used it for about a week. It worked just much better for me to write stuff down in a notebook. If you need a planner and fancy stickers to get started, great, go for it. You know, if the low-key notebook method works for you, go for that. I mean, I will admit that in the notebooks, sometimes it gets a little hard to find stuff, so I have found that these little tabby things that you can get as sticky notes work great for me to just tab like last month's promo versus this month's promo, who I called 3 months ago versus who I called last week, that sort of thing. I should say contact. I'm bad about phone calls. I will freely admit that, and my leader just gave me a challenge today to call people, so we'll be working on that. And I think the last thing that I would recommend if you're a business builder is having some sort of a book or a tool. This is a really great tool for your career. Just something that you every once in a while read through a little bit to remind yourself of why you're doing what you're doing. Part of my why is sitting in my lap right here. And Young Living was not only able to help us add to our family, but give me a chance to work from home. It's still a bit of a struggle to have gone from working 2 jobs my entire life outside of the home to working exclusively from home and balancing being a first-time mom, but I have the confidence that we will get through this and make it work. So those are some of the basics, and I'm sure there are other leaders that'll comment and mention all the things I missed. But thanks for listening.